You're watching Local News Network Durango. I'm Wendy Graham-Settle. Southwest Colorado affordable housing advocates learned last week that the cost of housing continues to climb, while wages remain relatively stagnant. That means it's getting harder and harder to find an affordable home, not only in Southwest Colorado, but throughout the state. But there's good news on the horizon. This year's legislative session saw several new bills that will pour up to $90 million a year into affordable housing beginning in 2020. And Durango has added hundreds of affordable housing units during the past 10 years, with many more planned for the future. Nearly 100 people attended the Affordable Housing Building Healthy Communities Conference in late May, sponsored by the Colorado Coalition for the Homeless, the Colorado Fiscal Institute, the Colorado Center on Law and Policy, and Balance of State. Similar meetings will be held in communities statewide to identify local challenges and possible solutions to the state's housing crisis. First, the bad news. Housing costs continue to climb. Median rent in Colorado has increased more than 50% since 2010, and the hourly wage needed to afford a two-bedroom apartment is nearly $24 an hour. In La Plata County, the wage needed to rent a two-bedroom apartment is about $20 an hour. Fair market rent in La Plata County is more than $1,000 a month, but a worker who earns minimum wage can afford only $530 a month. In Colorado, half of all renters are cost-burdened. That means they pay more than 30% of their income for housing. In La Plata County, 46% of renters are cost-burdened, and 1 in 4 homeowners pays more than 30% of their income for housing. 30,000 Coloradans are homeless, with nearly 300 homeless residents living in La Plata County. Relief is on the way, however. The state legislature passed several funding bills in 2019, including an increase in the affordable housing tax credit to support private investment in affordable housing. The legislature also changed the amount of sales tax that vendors can keep to cover administrative costs, and reallocated unclaimed property revenues to the State Division of Housing for housing programs. The changes will result in an increase of $80 to $90 million a year for affordable housing statewide. Other legislation provides additional protections for renters to prevent homelessness, including increased funding for legal representation for indigent renters who face eviction, an increase in the time renters have to make up rent payments before eviction proceedings can begin, a limit on rental application fees, and a provision that will allow renters to withhold rent to pay for repairs that impact the habitability of their rentals. Similar strides have been made in La Plata County, says a local affordable housing consultant.
I'm just in awe at how much progress we've made, and I think it's hard sometimes to be able to recognize all the great work that's happened, and so I want to just do a comparison. So when I came in 2006, we had some incredible advocates. There was a movement. We had a Habitat affiliate. We had Housing Solutions. We had a few units coming out of the ground. Fast forward 5 years, we had regional government cooperation. We had 5 major programs. We were doing over 100 units a year. Fast forward another 5 years, $35 million in tax credit investments in the last 6 years, on top of all the great work that the Homes Fund does to provide home ownership every year, on top of the great Section 8 and homeless prevention work that Housing Solutions does. It's probably, 500% increase in the work over the last 12 years. Certainly part of that is access to more government funding, which you heard today that the state's been doing more. But we couldn't have done it if we didn't have that local infrastructure created and we didn't have a community that wanted to see that work happen.
If you'd like to know more about the forum or other affordable housing solutions in the state, visit coloradocoalition.org. Thanks for watching this edition of Local News Network Durango. If you liked this story and want to watch it again, visit our website at durangotv.com, where you'll also find an archive of our past stories. You may also catch us on Durango Cable Channel 15 or on one of the many digital signs located around town. I'm Wendy Graham-Settle for Local News Network Durango.